In this battle, we are facing Phoenix 0087, and you can see he definitely has quite the interesting setup right here. Well, actually, it's kind of generic, but what's more interesting is my team, and as you can see, we have 4 Pokemon that have not been featured on WTJC Gaming 2 ever before. Now, someone recommended to try a Chestnut Milotic Skarmory core, and I was like, well, dang, that actually sounds kind of fun, especially since I actually really like Milotic, so I like getting opportunities to use it. And Chestnut, too, is something that I really want to use, so I think it's a cool Pokemon, especially that shiny. Such a good shiny right there, but also a great design, so I feel like you could really put in a lot of colors and make it work with Chestnut. So anyways, we also do have the Claydol there. It's supposed to be a special defensive tank to some extent. I do need to change the nature though. So I think I'm running Bold right now, and after a couple battles, like, well, Calm would probably be better. And it also has Rapid Spin, so really the idea is that like Chestnut, Skarmory, Diancie, they all have entry hazards that I can set up, and it's going to be pretty cool. I do have a defensive core, and then I have 2 offensive Pokemon, Diancie on the special side for the most part, but it's still kind of mixed. And you have the Marowak, which is a hard-hitting physical attacker. Now, one thing that's interesting about this team, there are no pivot Pokemon at the moment, which is kind of rare for me. But I even know. I was gonna have Crobat earlier over the Claydol, but I realized that I would have like an insane electric weakness, so that's why I kind of switched it around and got myself a ground type special defensive wall. I think that's going to be a pretty good Pokemon. And currently though, the Milotic on this team is not the probably not the most practical one, because this one is my typical defensive set, and I really like running defense in Milotic, but it's really versatile. So you'll see in future video that I did change that up. And actually, by the time you're watching this, I'm actually going to be out of town. So I'm like, right now it's the same day I just uploaded the last video, but I'm trying to schedule these videos in advance for when I'm out of town. So I'm going to Florida to purchase my first car, so I'm going to be busy doing that, but I wanted to keep the algorithm going, which is why I'm still uploading. So anyways, let's actually get back to that battle. I'm pretty sure in the first turn right there I picked up a KO on somebody got, yeah, it was a Dragonite, and he tried to stay in. I don't know what the vision was there. It was not fun for him. I mean, it was Fairy and Rock both are dangerous for Dragonite. Now he might have had multi-scale, and if he had something like that, but Dragon Dance, and then maybe he might have gone for the Earthquake, it would have made sense. But even then, I don't really think I'd be trying to set up that early, especially on Diancie, when there are other Pokemon you can try setting up on. So anyways, right here he has the Metagross, and it looks like I switched into Skarmory, and Skarmory, to be honest, actually is a great check to Metagross and a lot of Pokemon in the meta for the matter. And just having that Steel and Flying typing is so key for a lot of teams, in my opinion. Like, it's such a useful combination, and a Pokemon like Skarmory or Corviknight can go a long way. So I definitely recommend checking them out or trying to invest into them if you haven't already. So anyways, now on the Metagross, I gotta figure out what I want to do. And I did realize another potential flaw of this team. Now, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but that's definitely arguable. So Skarmory and Chestnut both have spikes. I probably should just either have Skarmory running spikes and Chestnut get like Spiky Shield instead, or vice versa, where Chestnut runs the spikes and Skarmory gets something like Brave Bird, so I can actually attack past Taunt. But yeah, right now, since this is basically a free opportunity, I was gonna set up my spikes, because every time Metagross attacks, he's basically doing the damage for me, and I can just roost off all the damage he's been doing, and he really cannot touch me. Like, even Mega Metagross with like a super effective attack like Thunder Punch or Fire. I don't think it gets Fire Punch, but if it got it, like I still wouldn't be too concerned, because Skarmory has some of the best defensive stats in the game, and this one has even further physical defensive investment. So it's basically both tank hits. So anyways, in light of this, I was really thinking, what do I want to do here? Because this Metagross is kind of something free I can set up on. So anyways, I decided to switch into the Marowak here, just to kind of like throw off his hammer arm, because it was actually an effective way to deal some good damage to my Skarmory. And this is actually supposed to be a Ghost and Fire type, and I really do like the concept of it, although I don't know how much the execution is there, because it's supposed to have the Tick Club item, but right now it has some sort of like dust stone or something. Like, I don't even know what that is. I don't think it's a dust stone. It's the it's some other light related one. I forgot what you call it. But you know, I guess right there I decided to kind of just play games with this guy, because I was thinking, well, Marowak would be kind of nice, but I was like, well, he could actually be running some sort of ground type attack. So I mean, I may as well just roost him off. It's kind of sad to do that to somebody, but you know, I just figured that's just the most optimal way to take care of the problem. So now the Gengar is going to come out, and I actually realized, well, dang, that's not good for my team. Now, you know, you'll see in the future I changed my melodic stat distribution so it can actually function as a special tank. But I like the idea of Chestnut because it has the ability bulletproof. So in the case that he went for a Shadow Ball, Chestnut would actually be completely immune, and that would be kind of funny. Although, at the same time, it's nowhere near effective, since he could just go for a Sludge Wave or Sludge Ball and follow up, and that probably would, you know, take care of Chestnut. And also, at the same time, Chestnut cannot touch Gengar. So it's nowhere near ideal, but I thought it would have been funny anyways. I wanted to see if he would actually go for the Shadow Ball, because getting that immunity would be nice. Now, he actually goes for the Destiny Bond, and you'll actually probably figure out that that is pointless on the Skarmory, since the Skarmory can't even attack. So, you know, like, right at this moment it can't attack. So, you know, I feel bad for him, but I guess he hates Skarmory. He wants to get rid of it. He's like, man, screw that guy. But, you know, now that I switched out, like, it's no longer as effective as, you know, he may have planned it to be. So anyways, now the Claydol is going to come out, and he's going to go for round 2 of the Destiny's Bond. I guess I was anticipating a poison type move. We're kind of scouting around. So clearly he doesn't have it, but, I mean, that's not really a matchup you'd want to stay into anyways. So the Claydol here, I'm going to fire off a Psychic on this man, and it's going to do some juicy damage. Now he's going to go for Shadow Ball. Now that would normally be a problem, but this is supposed to be especially defensive, so I was fine, you know, making that compromise. And really, I didn't really have any other Pokemon that wanted anything with Gengar. I mean, I guess my Melodic could have, but you know, this also worked. It did the job. Gengar was taken care of, and Claydol did live to tell the tale, and comfortably at that too, because now it's in green with the leftovers recovery. So the Greninja is going to come in, and this was definitely an interesting sequence right here. So I was thinking, wow, Chestnut and Marowak are definitely, you know, an interesting pairing, because I mean, Marowak here gets destroyed by Greninja completely with its fire and ghost typing, although Chestnut with its grass and fighting typing has an excellent matchup against Greninja, excluding Ice Beam. Now, truth be told, if this was Protean or even Ash Greninja with choice items, Chestnut would still probably not work too well, because I mean, if he made a prediction and went for like an Ice Beam, that's still going to do massive damage, probably close to one-shot damage right there, especially since the Chestnut is built for physical hits, not special attacks. And I might change it up in the future, because I actually think it would make sense for Chestnut to have a bit of both. Now, of course, having the physical defense would help a lot, especially against, you know, hard-hitting Earthquake Pokemon like Garchomp that are pretty common in the meta, although I guess having some special defense could also go a long way against, you know, electric types and, you know, water types that are trying to go for ice type attacks, stuff like that. So anyways, he's going to go for the Dark Pulse here. Not going to do any damage at all to the Chestnut. Chestnut is an absolute wall, and I'm going to go for the Drain Punch here. So surprisingly, he actually has Aerial Ace, which is a great, you know, attack to throw out against Chestnut. In fact, if he had like Bounce or something like that, that probably could have been really, really deadly for the Chestnut, but you know, it's alright, because I mean, Chestnut does have that bulk, so a move like Aerial Ace isn't too big an issue. And I will say, dang, that is such a clean shiny. Like the orange accented with the green and the brown, like I love what I see. And I really like the moveset too, like it really, you know, corresponds well with the color palette that Chestnut has. You'll see it right here. Like I love these colors. It looks really cool. So anyways, I decided to stay in. Definitely not the optimal move there. Once again, sometimes like in these types of battles where it's just lower level, it's not even close, I start, you know, I'm like, I don't feel like having to, you know, have to take extra time, switch in, do this, do that. I just want to get some damage. So I was like, alright, I'll go for the Wood Hammer here. Although I realized, like, you know, it did good damage, but it was kind of weak, so I decided I probably should just switch into Marowak on probably what's going to be a fairy type attack, which it was right there. I guess he was trying to I guess he must have expected me to switch out into something else. So he's gonna go for round 2 with the Moonblast, probably because he saw that when it was a critical hit, it did some good damage. So he might have thought it would have actually been fun to go for round 2. And I'm gonna finish the job there with a Flare Blitz. Probably weird from his perspective because there's actually no way of him knowing that this is a Alola Marowak other than in the team preview. So it's definitely quite funny. So now on the Charizard. This once again is not the recommended move going into the Diancie here, especially because he could either go for like a Dragon Dance, he could go for an Earthquake, and it could be Charizard X, which this in fact is. Now Charizard Y, I feel like Diancie would have a better matchup against, especially my Diancie, since I'm running a hasty nature, which will lower my defense stat but increase my speed because this is supposed to be a mixed attacker. But it wouldn't be fun. So anyways, on the Charizard here, I'm gonna start with the Diamond Star. It was stabbed, so I was like, this could actually be pretty nice. Although I realized, well, it's probably not the optimal move since I don't have any physical attack investment, and Charizard is really bulky on the physical side. So I may as well just hit him with a special attack that should, do the job, which it does. So that right there is gonna be GG.